What's up, guys? This is just truly Empress Chazzy Warmington, aka All That Chaz, aka Lupus Slayer. I wanted to talk to y'all today. Hope everybody's feeling okay. It's a beautiful Saturday. The weekend so far has been pretty good here in Atlanta, Georgia. I want to talk to y'all today about warning signs. This is something that this really pertains a lot to not just relationships, but even when we're out and about, and how we can kind of sense danger, we can kind of sense a certain thing is going to happen, and we ignore, those angels that be telling us not to go that way or not to do something. Okay. Oh, it's the light. Just what to say. But we ignore these warning signs, and they be so clear. It's like, like a red light literally beeping directly in front of us in our eyes. And well, look at the red light and just go right around it. Be like, oh well, we see the red light. Yeah, I see it. Whatever, ain't worrying about it. And we find ourselves in some situations. But one thing I will talk about the most, I start off with, is warning signs with relationships. Before you enter into a relationship with a person, it's very crucial and very important to really get to know that person. And that is something that we quite often do not do. We don't get to really know a person. We become infatuated really quick with a person. We get hype in our lust and, in our again, infatuation, and we don't take time to realize that what we're feeling is not genuine emotions, is perceived emotions. it's like false emotions, and that's why you have a lot of women becoming knocked up and pregnant by one night stands, or by guys who didn't want to be in a relationship with them. And then you even have the guys, they go out their way, because there are guys that are really sensitive and compassionate like that, where they just feel like if they're going to lay with you, then they should be able to help take care of you. There are guys that are like that. I've met several of them throughout my life and my life's journey thus far. And they felt like they had an obligation to, do things for me because they were dating me. And I'm just the type, I don't expect you to pay my bills. You don't have to pay my bills because we're dating. We're not in a full-blown relationship. We're not, we just met. And to be honest with you, you don't even have to take me out to a fancy dinner or anything. Me personally, I like to cook, but the only thing about that, I would like to cook and then go to a park and have like a picnic or something. If the weather permits, it's not too hot, not too cold, but it's a really nice weather temperature. That's good because you get a chance to get that one-on-one time, alone time with that person, and really get to know and explore that person in a more intimate setting without worrying about being quote unquote intimate. Because when you go out on dates, to me, and it took me some maturing and growing up to really understand this. When you're dating someone, you're still getting to know that person. So it's like, I know traditionally it's like, oh, the man take the woman out, he show interest, and he do this to do that, take her for breakfast or take her for lunch, and all of that is good and fine. My problem, for me, being a woman that I have constantly experienced, is when a guy does that, they always expect sexual favor in return. And I'm sorry, I'm worth way more than any plate of food, okay? Any meal, any drink. I'm not going to give myself up to you because you took me out. That's not going to happen. So for me, I'm cool with just sitting, at a park, or go to walk through a park or something to get to know you for our first date or something. Go to an amusement park or go to a museum or something like that. You don't have to always And I don't mind paying my own. That's another thing too. Like some women don't like to pay their own way through a date. Me, I pay my own tab. I pay his too. You know, I don't have no problem with that. Call me. Some people will say, "Oh, you must be mighty desperate." No, I'm not desperate. I just don't want to be put in a position where I'm told where, because this is the thing. You got to think about it. If you be put in a position where it's kind of like you being prostituted in a way, it's like you being like he's your pimp. Okay, I'll do this for you as long as you give me sexual favors. You know, that's what pimps do. Pimps take care of, you know, their dons based on how much money they're able to bring in and what they're, you know, and stuff like that. I don't want to be how that feeling. You understand what I'm saying? If you're a female, you understand. Some guys might get it, but I don't think a guy would get it from a female's point of view, you know. But it's really that to me is a red flag. That's a warning sign to me when a guy will expect sexual favors from me because he took me out, because then it's going to be like, so you mean to tell me in order for us to get to know each other and hang out, we're going to have to always have sex because that's the way you want me to show and express that I'm interested in you, or because that's something that you feel like you're obligated to get from me. See, those kind of things turn me off, and that's probably why for me it's really hard for me to date. It's real hard for me to date because my mentality is really different, and I've had a lot of guys, well, I'll just say all the guys that have had offered to take me out on a date before, and I let them know this up front. I let them know this is how I am up front, because you know, I've had situations where I've let a guy know this up front, but then when we get out on the date, he want to try me. I'm not going to your place. No, you're not going to my place. I don't know you. I'm not going to your place. And you're not coming to my place, and we're not going to a hotel together. We don't even know each other. You could be a serial killer. You could be wanted in another country or another state. You know, you could be a child molester. It could be any kind of thing. And people don't take out the time to get to know each other. So because they don't take out the time to get to know each other, they find themselves in situations, and they think about it. The first warning sign is that you didn't take your time to get to know each other. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of things that's going to come up, you know, about this person that is very crucial for you to know at the jump. Like, you need to know if he's a child molester from jump. You need to know if he have AIDS, HIV from jump. If you guys are going to be having sexual intercourse, I don't care if it's a condom involved, they can pop. And birth controls are not going to stop STD. I'm sorry, my lip. It's not going to stop an STD from spreading. So you have to take care of your body. You have to nourish your body and treasure your body and yourself. And I know in this generation, in these times, you know, a lot of people be like, oh, well, that's just the way the times. It's just Sam says, no, you can still make a choice to do things. It's not about the time. So if that's the case, then what you're saying is that society is ruling your life. It's running your life. It's controlling you because it's not a popular thing to do in society. Then you're going to bail out, or I mean, you're not going to want to do it because it's not a popular thing in society. Listen, look at how screwed up society is. Society is so freaking tainted. It's so messed up. Why would you want to listen to society? Society, like Ricky Smiley says, society will lock up, will get upset at a melanin man for wearing dreadlocks, but won't get mad at a melanin man for wearing a dress. You know, it's acceptable for a melanin man to wear dreadlocks, but not acceptable for a melanin man to wear a dress. So, you know, you got this kind of warped mentality and very I want to say a certain word, but I'm not going to say it because I try to keep my videos children friendly at times, you know, or at least PG-13 friendly, but they're not they're not the sharpest. They're not nowhere near a sharp. They're not a sharp tool in the shed at all. Period. It's not. You know, the way society's thinking is just the, you know, the mentality and the way they are is just nah. I don't want to copy that. But let me go to the first warning sign. Okay, warning sign number one, topic I meant is going to be in relationships. And this is something that I experienced. And I like to really use my own life experiences versus other people's life experiences when I talk about a lot of things, especially sensitive matters like this. Okay, warning sign. I met this guy online. And to be honest, I wasn't even online today. I was actually literally bored and curious about things. And I would go online and I would look for work, and I would go look for school and stuff. And you know how when you're on certain sites and stuff, you know, you get these little ads and stuff like this. And this, I wasn't even looking for that information, but it pops up, especially when you're on Facebook. You know, if you, wherever you go in your browser, it's gonna, the ads are gonna pop up on your, in your feed. Also, not only that, but even if you're not looking for certain stuff, it'll still just pop up. And I don't understand that. Like Facebook, that Facebook dating thing keeps popping up, and I'm like, no, I don't want to date. I'm not interested in dating nobody right now. I'm working on me, and I don't want to date. So, you know, it keeps popping up. But this is kind of like the situation that happened when I was, you know, several years ago. And so this guy we met online, and I wasn't having any revealing pictures or anything. Everything I had was just headshots. Like seriously, like from my waist up, nothing waist down. All of my heads, just headshots. So this guy got interested. A lot of guys was curious. They were really curious because of my name, my profile name. That really made a lot of them curious because I was like a mean, you know, I think it was like mean ass something. I don't forget. It was something to that effect. And so they were like, are you really mean? And this, that. I'm like, yeah, I'm being really mean. When someone come at me the wrong way, I'm going to be very mean. And so I guess the curiosity got the best of this person. So anyway, we talked online for about 3 consecutive months before we even exchanged phone numbers. Then we finally exchanged phone numbers. We talked on the phone maybe about 2 or 3 months. So 6 months have passed by before me and this individual even met each other in person. And if me and this individual met each other in person, and you know, it was like pretty cool and stuff like that. And then, you know, went and hung out at this individual's spot. That was cool. And then, you know, from there, you know, my very first warning sign that I didn't catch on to, I did because I actually stopped contacting him. I started ignoring his calls because during the course of us having these phone conversations, he would constantly stand me up, kept saying he was going to come pick me up, we're going to go on a date and stuff, and he never did. He kept talking to my son about his roommate issue and blah, blah, blah. So that was red flag number one, that I should have just completely blocked the person and never spoke with them again. But I did it. So now I'm going to this individual's place. I'm going to their spot. And now it's about in the 8th month.
Wait me to what? Cause I decline the chats, cause I ain't down with that. No, hi dear, no hey girls.